Hello, this is Roland. Just wanted to tell you about some of the things I've been doing lately. I've made a lot of videos about video talks about emotions. And I describe what I do is I talk about how there are two totally different systems of obtaining energy and motivation, and from which one lives and moves and has one's being. Two different systems. The only one that you know now is the lower way, and that's the way of emotions. Okay? It's the way of being separated from your own inner ground, separated from intuition, and separated from love, separated from wisdom and understanding, and separated from an energy field that comes from above and within. And you have fallen. See, we're all born of the lineage of Adam and Eve. See, the separation occurred when Adam failed. And we're all the great grandchildren of Adam. And so you're born with a fallen nature, which is somewhat animal, and a potential of refining what you could have become. See, had you been able to, see, when you were a little child, you were born with the fallen nature, which had to grow, and with a little ego. But you also had the potential of becoming an Albert Einstein, a Madame Curie, a Sojourner Truth, a Susan B. Anthony, a George Washington, a Mozart, a Beethoven. See? But it didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is because there was no one around to nurture, to gently guide you to find your inner ground of good. And then at that point, of your own free will, you could then choose to attach to it. I just made a video yesterday, the day before yesterday, about detachment. The Buddhists talk about detachment. Actually, Buddha did. Do you know what Buddha? Do you know when they asked Buddha who he is? You know what his answer was? He said, "I'm someone that woke up." See, he got it. Buddha got it, and I'm sure he got a lot more. See, but you're not going to hear about it because what he got was lost, or suppressed, or covered up. See, and now what do you get? Formulas, dogmas, rituals, words, study. But the essence of what he had to say was to wake up and to be a little bit detached. But the other part that's very important, the most important part, see, that's not quite half of it. But the other half is to attach to your own conscience, intuition, which comes from the inner, which is what you know in God's inner light, in light from God. See, most of us are not friends with our conscience. We don't like conscience because it makes us feel bad. And we don't like the light because it exposes us. It shows us what we are. A little bit phony, hateful, judgmental, secretly judgmental, not totally honorable, a little bit catty, angry. See, it shows us for that. Selfish, excuse-making. We don't like to see that, so we don't like intuition, and so we shy away from it. But that intuition, if you could find it, see, that's the whole purpose of my meditation, to help you. And I made it free, and I made an easy one that you could learn it. You can actually learn it in a minute, but you should have my recording to help you practice it. But you can learn it in a minute. So how many of them do you think I give away? You figure I'd be giving away thousands. I'd hardly give them away. Why? Because there's something about people. Until you're ready to want to know the truth and be willing to admit the truth, whatever it is, regardless of what it shows truth about you to be, see, and to not resent it. Until you are ready, and I can't tell you when someone's going to be ready, but when you're ready, then all of a sudden, see, you become compatible with the inner light from God. It's a beautiful thing. Well, so what was I talking about? I lost my train of thought. I was talking about two entirely different ways of living and being energized and being motivated, and two entirely different sources of information. See? So you know the lower way. You know the way of reacting, becoming emotional, becoming upset. And then taking your identity, see, separated from your true identity within, from your Creator. Then you take your identity from the world. And you take your emotion and your stimulus and your motivation from the world. See? But behind the fact that the human race has fallen is a will, a spirit, if you like, that opposes your coming back to God. It opposes it. Okay? It's out in the world. It wants to keep you endlessly distracted. It feeds you knowledge. It pumps up your ego and it gives you goals. It wants you to be ambitious. And then it comforts you in your failings. It comforts you with drugs and marijuana and alcohol, approval and reassurance, and so on. Because it doesn't want you to meditate properly. It doesn't want you to come back to God. It doesn't want you to repent, be sorry for some of like your angers and your resentments and hating your mom or whatever it is that you've done. It doesn't want it. It opposes it. It opposes the truth. And you can feel it. A lot of times people can sense it within. Something in them doesn't want them to meditate. Doesn't want them to won't let them be sorry. Maybe you saw that spirit, that unholy spirit standing in the place of the holy. Maybe it was in your parents, okay, in your mom and your dad. It wanted you to hate it. It wanted you to hate the parent, so it ranted and raved. And it wouldn't let them. Wouldn't let your dad be tender and be kind and be there for you. Communication was not bad. There was some distance there. It wouldn't let him. He was a prisoner of it, perhaps. See, even as perhaps you are. So there's a lot. There's a lot. I can't even scratch the surface in this little lecture. But I will say this. I will say that there is a way of living and moving and having your being where you flow from within. Where they say, go with the flow. Well, you flow from within. And what comes out of you is good. What comes out of you is true. What comes out of you is kindness and patience and courage. See, not of yourself, but from your willingness to have God to have His light enter your life. And your willingness to admit you're wrong when you're wrong. And then your wishing to do the right thing. Yearning to do the right thing. Even though you don't know what the right thing is. You'd want to do the right thing. Not because you want to look good or feel good, but because you really and honestly and truly want to do the right thing and you don't know what it is. Well, with that kind of an attitude, see, then the answer will come. The answer will come. There's a verse in the Bible. Let me see if I can find it. It's in James. Let me see if I can find James here. I love the Bible. I read it lightly. I read until I see something that that sparks understanding. Something on the page testifies or awakens me to the truth within. See, it's the inner truth. That's the thing. It's what the wordless truth. It's God's inner light. That's the important thing. Words on a page only can testify or bear witness to what the truth is, and they can only perhaps awaken you to what's within. Then they've done their job. There's James. Now the verse that I read, I recently made a very nice little talk about detachment and about finding the spiritual walk. And then I read from James, where James says, count it a blessing when you encounter all manner of temptations. Because temptations, how does he say it? Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. But let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire and lacking nothing. So he's saying, be grateful. Of course, the caveat or the asterisk with this is that you have to have found the inner light. You have to be meditating with my meditation. You have to have had a change of heart where now you welcome the truth. See, you want to know the truth regardless of what it is, even if it shows you in a bad light. You don't resent it anymore. See, you used to resent the truth. So we read that one. Because now when you encounter a temptation, okay, so now you encounter something that you encountered before, and then you didn't deal with it right. You didn't handle it right. You became resentful. You wimped out, or you became angry. You said the wrong thing. You did the wrong thing. You didn't handle it right, or your timing was wrong, or you spoke lofty words of truth, but they were just words, empty words. See, so it was all wrong. But now, with the inner light, a situation arises, and you observe it, and you don't know what to do. Maybe you feel the emotions right, the old emotions that you used to always use. Remember, anger and resentment and so on. Now you see them rising. Okay, there they are. You watch them. Okay? And you don't know what to do, and you don't know what to do, and you watch. And then, all of a sudden, you do know what to say or do. Or perhaps nothing needs to be said. You just observe. Sometimes that's all that's needed. And the temptation passes, and you're safe. And you met the moment with some dignity and grace. Okay? It's beautiful. But that's the way your life will be from now on, if you begin along this path that I would like you to. But now, after these verses, something else is there. Listen to this, and this is the one I wanted to get to. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. If any of you lack wisdom, then ask God for it. See, now I already told you how to do that. It's not so much a wordy prayer. It's in the moment. See, do you remember Star Trek? Do you remember where there was Spock and Captain Kirk? Well, do you remember Spock? He had this Vulcan mind meld or something like that, where he could read someone else's thoughts. Well, don't you sometimes have that a little bit when you're with your child or your partner or someone close to you, a friend? Well, you can look at them and you know what they're thinking. You know what, see, because you have a rapport with them. Of course, you can also be mistaken. You can be a little bit resentful, and when you're resentful, you can't trust anything any opinions and judgments that you have whenever you're resentful. You're likely to misinterpret what other people say or what they do or what they're thinking, and see, you become paranoid. But if your heart is good, if you bear goodwill, then sometimes you can sense. See, when your child is not feeling well, you sense it. Well, so there you are in the moment. There's a situation that arises where previously you would have messed it up, become angry or wimped out or become resentful or spoken pompously or with wrong timing. But now you just watch and wait, and you honestly, you want to do the right thing. You yearn to do the right thing. You really wish to do the right thing, and you don't know what it is. Can you see how that is asking God? Your soul is silently, the cry of the soul is silent, okay, without complaint. The soul just doesn't know your the real you. The real you doesn't know what to do. That's a silent cry to God, and He answers that sincere cry. He answers it. Okay? Well, I'm going to stop this video at this point, and I hope you enjoyed this little lecture. My name is Roland.